Even though the Contrio line of wall controllers is branded BSS, they can control any high-QNet device from Harman, including Crown amps, JBL-powered speakers, DBX drive racks, and more. The Contrio wall controllers come in different combinations of buttons and an encoder. The buttons can control any two-state parameter, such as a mute, and the encoder can control any parameter that is considered a percent control, typically a fader. While most systems will use Contrio wall controllers to control parameters on a BSS SoundWeb London processor, there are some cases where it will be useful to control parameters directly on the DCI amplifier itself. Let's go over two basic examples of using a Contrio wall controller, model EC4BV, with a 4-channel DCI network amplifier. The EC4BV includes 4 buttons and an encoder. Example 1. Master gain with individual channel mutes. Example 2. Individual channel gain control with mutes. Example 1. Master gain with individual mutes. In this example, a Contrio wall controller will be programmed to control the gain of all 4 amp channels together with a single encoder, and program 4 different buttons for individual channel mutes. To do this, open the amplifier control panel by double-clicking on the virtual representation of the amp. Move this off to the side. Next, double-click on the wall controller to open its control page. For this example, leave the wall controller programming mode in single zone. Since the single encoder needs to control all 4 amplifier faders, press the Link All button on the amplifier panel to tie the channel faders together. Now, when one fader moves, they all move. Next, drag each of the channel mutes to the controller buttons by holding Control, then click, drag, and drop to the desired wall controller button. Select the color you want the button to be when this object is activated and deactivated. Give each button a name, and give each name a label color. Next, drag any one of the faders to the continuous assignment for the encoder. Select what color you want the light ring to be when turning the encoder up and down, and the duration that indication should remain. Finally, tie a meter to the meter assignment. In this case, channel 1 output peak meter. When finished programming the controller, go online. Send the settings to the amplifier and load the settings onto the wall controller. Notice the wall controller now shows the correct labels, and the light ring around the meter shows metering for the parameter assigned to it. As the input source level goes up and down, the meter reacts accordingly. When the encoder is turned up or down, the light ring indicates the position of the fader, which in this case moves all 4 amp channels. When a mute button for a channel is pressed, the light ring will turn red, indicating that channel is muted. Audio Architect will reflect this mute state. Also, as a mute button is pressed in the software, the wall controller will reflect this state. The next example will show how to control all 4 amp channel faders and mutes independently. To do this, select the 4-zone mode within the wall controller. Now only the encoder controls are programmable. The 4 buttons will now switch what the encoder controls. Click on the first zone. First, name the zone. This is what will show up in the label next to each of the 4 buttons. To assign the fader for channel 1 to the encoder, press and hold Control, click, drag, and drop. Do the same for the mute, and lastly the output meter. Make any other changes you wish in the parameters and repeat the process for the following 3 zones. When finished programming, go online and load the settings to the controller and send settings to the amplifier. Now, when a zone is selected, the encoder will control the fader for that channel. Pressing the encoder will mute that channel, and the light ring will show the output metering for that channel. Thank you for watching this video. For questions, comments, or suggestions regarding this or any other video, please send them to the email address shown below. For technical assistance, please call the technical support department or email them at the options shown below.